Hello everybody, my name is Bob, and this is Desperate Space Program. Has something changed here? I lost the train scatters or some shit? What the hell's happened? Something looks different here. Whatevs. Um, yeah. It's been a while since I played, so I honestly don't know what we're doing. I know some part of what we were doing. What the hell is this? I don't think I've ever noticed that little set of tanks there. Anyway, what I do is I tend to record videos and save them well ahead of whatever the release video is. So while it's episode 3, I might actually be recording episode 7 or something. So I've run out of recorded videos, and I'm coming back to what the hell is that? Sorry. Oh, it's just a truck. Never mind. I record ahead of ahead of the released video. So what happened is I recorded a whole bunch in a frenzy, as I often do. Then I went off and lived my life and did other stuff. And then I have a interest in playing some KSP again, and I don't know what exactly we're actually doing. Let's see. There was some stuff I did sort of off to the side. I'll go ahead and show you just for grids. I don't even know if I'm going to record what it is that I did. I wanted to make a really big ship, a big starship type ship, and here it is. NCC 002, actually Skeever Prize. Here it is. Whether I'm actually going to do anything with this, I don't know. I wasn't going to send it off to the planets or something. I had a few mishaps. Well, I actually had a mishap with the original Skeever Prize, which is when I put it under full thrust, it went wobbling back and forth, and so I had to abandon ship, strand my crew on the planet, and yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. I don't know whether I'm going to actually release that or not. I might. It depends on whether I want to play it or not. Yeah, after, if I want to do something with this after now. Yeah. This is the original Skeever Prize, which when I put it under thrust, it went all wobbly in here, so that didn't work. Not that this has anything whatsoever to do with what we're doing today. It's just it was just a thing I was playing with that may or may not see the light of day. Yeah. Okay, I think one of the rockets that we were working on was the Umaguma 2, which is this spacecraft. A little bit low on the old fuel right now. So probably like the other ones, in fact, probably will only get the chance to land the thing, not actually, get back off again. But I have a docking port on this, so I could actually dock something to it and refuel it in theory. Which actually I probably should do that before I land, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna if I decide to refuel it, I will refuel it on the surface, which should be interesting in and of itself. Now, in any kind of sensible space program, what I'm doing would be very ill-advised. I don't have a great abundance of fuel, and rather than refuel it in orbit, I'm going to try to land it first, then refuel it on the moon. Normally, that would be an insensible, stupid thing to do, but I'm in the mood for stupid, insensible things, sort of matching with the overall theme of the program here. Obviously, a desperate space program is a space program you wouldn't want to have. You don't want to have space and desperate in the same sentence. But that's how we roll. That's what we're gonna do. Go and pop the gear out. Yeah, normally desperate and space are not two words that go well together. They're two words that go badly together. So anyway, the idea is I land this thing. It's in the process of launching. It lost one of its solar panels, so it's down one. Yeah, even getting into orbit. Um, what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah, normally if I was actually wanting to have a successful mission here, I would refuel this in space, then send it down to the surface, then brought it back up again. But of course, this is desperate space program. Desperate in name, desperate indeed. Okay, we're coming up on the target here pretty fast, so need to really kick on the jets. I wasted some time doing some fine adjustments here. And yes, we don't have an abundance of fuel. And we don't have an abundance of thrust either. Okay, we're passing right over it. Goodbye, guys. It's okay, we'll catch you on the rebound. Full thrust, please. Getting kind of low to the ground. And as I said, we're going to catch you on the rebound. Well, we would be catching you on the rebound, except for the fact that we're about to run out of fuel. Okay. Alright, so now we have to use every last particle of our fuel to do a emergency braking right at the critical moment, pretty much. You see, they didn't really have any room in the budget for refueling or anything like that, so you know they had to make do. Yes. Yes. Yeah, this is going to end in disaster, I can tell you that right now, because I simply don't have enough fuel. Okay, well, it looks like possibly may actually land a bitch, but you know, it's not looking real certain for sure. Going for a bit of a rough landing. Alright, well, we got it down. Amazingly. We did get it down. We're about 2.8 clicks from the landing site, but yeah, they can use jetpacks, they can walk. Still have to figure out a way to refuel this thing. It means sending another ship with a gas tank, I guess, instead of this, and somehow detachable so I can maneuver it onto this somehow. So the whole idea was rather ill-conceived. yet we will see how that goes. Okay, I think I can fairly confidently state that the Murica 4 is not going to make it to the surface of the moon on 135 units of fuel. So what I'm going to do is land the Murica Oil Freedom, tank it up again, send it to the moon to dock with the Murica 4 again, and then send it to the moon, because I have very little confidence that this thing is getting to the surface of the moon on 135 units of fuel. If it did manage to get to the surface of the moon, it sure as hell ain't going anywhere once it gets there. So, and plus there's no fuel for this thing. So we will land the Murica Oil Freedom, we hopefully successfully. We will take it off again, send it to the moon, and have it refuel the Murica 4 again. Let me go ahead and cut off cross-feed. The Americans have decided not to send up the Murica Oil Freedom. They figure if they're in for a penny, they're in for a pound, and so they might as well go big or go home. And for this reason, they're going to refuel their spacecraft with this, the Splattern 5. All right, throttle to maximum, SAS on. SAS is way up here at the top, so I have no idea how it's going to work, really. But it's all part of the deal here with it at Desperate Space Program. In 3, 2, 1, a majestic liftoff. Normally I wouldn't even make a rocket this way, but just for the sake of trying to replicate the Saturn V. And it'll be a while. 5 minutes later. Standing by for a gravity turn, which should be interesting. Okay, standing by for first stage separation. First stage separation. Second stage ignition is good. T plus 3 minutes, all systems nominal. I'm standing by for a circularization burn. Now I gather that in real rockets, they wouldn't fly up this far, stop, wait to reach the apoapsis, and then do another burn. They would generally just fly in a continuous manner in such a way that they would actually get orbit, which would require complex mathematical processes that I am not able to replicate. And so instead I do it this way. But yeah, I gather that generally speaking, it's if you're trying to burn a stage, it's generally sort of difficult and not recommended to stop the engine, stop moving forward, stop the fuel heading towards the direction of the engines. You know, in the midst of trying to get to orbit. I know for sure that the Russians on the R7 didn't do any such thing. they and I assume the Americans as well would just burn continually on such a flight profile as to, at the end of the burn, basically into their older stages, they would get into orbit, because if you stop going forward, you stop moving the fuel towards the engines, which generally speaking is a bad idea. Now there's some situations like with the Saturn V actually where you actually have to stop. Like for instance, the Saturn V got to orbit. It fully got to orbit. Stopped, evaluated its situation, and then started up the engine to take them to the moon. But I imagine that making the engines capable of doing that properly added weight, which, generally speaking, is something you want to avoid unless you can't help it. In other words, it's perfectly possible to make an engine that can start and stop at will. It's just that it adds more complication and hence more weight than an engine that you just burn continually and let the actual force of your propulsion keep the fuel heading towards the engine, basically. So, for instance, on the R-7, the Russian rocket that launched Sputnik and also, well, actually, still the base stage still launches the Soyuz today. But what they had was the second stage, or whichever upper stage. Yeah, the upper stage had like events in between it and the lower stage, so they would fire the upper stage while the lower stage was still going. And then the exhaust gases would vent out through the little holes in the sides of the decoupler, basically. And then they would release it, because that way they were moving forward when they lit the second engine, and the fuel was, of course, heading, because of the forward thrust, the acceleration was heading towards the engine when the engine was fired. Doing it with starts and stops is, of course, absolutely possible, but just adds complexity and weight. May have been more than you really even wanted to know about that subject. Okay, here we are. Next stop is the moon. This is actually the second stage right here. So, in my Apollo simulation, if you will, I actually have a little bit of this stage left. This would normally be the translunar injection stage right there, but we got a little bit of that left, so we certainly will use it. Okay, the Splattern 5 is a go for translunar injection. Hard to judge with this engine where I should start burning. Now, perhaps. Okay. Always good to check. Yeah, this stage is sizably less powerful than the other. Alright, this will take a while. Okay, about to do our burn to enter lunar orbit, whereupon we shall dock with the Murica 4. Gotta keep my Murica straight. Murica 4. Yeah, we shall start the burn right about now. Actually, we started a little early. I'm going to go ahead and stop for a second. Get a little closer in. And now burn. The forbidding lunar surface. The forbidding lunar surface. Oh. Close enough. Now we just have to catch up to the Murica 4. Of course we're docking at night. Of course, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we be docking at night? That's a natural time to dock. Everyone docks at night, don't they? I was under the impression that everyone docks at night on the far side of a planet away from the sun. Ah, turn the lights on helps. Alright, we're heading in for docking. It's sort of a retarded matter. I wasn't expecting to have this part on here, so. Manatee love. Get that manatee love on. Come on. You can do that, manatee love. You know you want it. You're all about that manatee love. Okay. Let's get over on the light side. Okay, we're on the daylight side again. We're going to refuel the Murica 4. Got plenty of fuel here for it. And then with a fully refueled Murica 4, we're going to land it on the Mun. And we can see the landing site right over there. We'll be doing another pass around before we get to it. And all that will be for next time. And until next time, hasta la vista. Adios. Let's get the Murica flag here. Murica. Makes your heart warm, doesn't it? Seeing all that mark and fuel being burned out there in space makes your heart warm, don't it? Goodbye. Bill Kerman, driving up to his custom Billmobile 1. Brakes on. Hop out there, Bill. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Kerman. Nope. Get off the ladder, Bill. It's okay. It'll be okay. It'll all be okay. Climbing into his custom aircraft, the Billmobile 1. He has to have all his computer controls in tow, because otherwise he can't fly the airplane. Because honestly, in truth, he's incompetent. But we pretend that he's competent. Let's see. Well, shit. Don't want to deploy the airplane. He hasn't tested this airplane yet, folks. We don't know whether it will work, whether it will crash, whether he'll die. Could be anything. Could be fundamentally unsound, honestly. For all we know, it's fundamentally unsound. He's going with a low, slow approach here this time, folks. He realizes that speed is his enemy. And speed also dramatically reduces his likelihood of surviving. And he kind of would like to survive. You know, all things being equal, he would kind of like to survive. Here we go. We don't know for sure whether he's just going to do a loop under the nerd tunnel, or whether he's going to try to do a complete loop-to-loop, and in so doing, okay, well, this is a problem. Okay, well, this is a problem. Bill Kerman, ladies and gentlemen, he's whipped out a new craft. This is a very simple craft, so it's not difficult to replicate. And he's going to attempt to we know he's at least going to try to go under the Nur tunnel. If he can loop-to-loop around the Nur tunnel, this would mean that he has bested Jebediah Kerman. And we all know that Jebediah is not going to like that. Okay, nope, that's an abort. Okay, no bueno. Propeller appears to be still on. It's actually detached from the spacecraft. That's why it's still going, because it doesn't have. Nothing has told this little pea brain that it's time for it to shut down yet. Yes. What is this coolant? There we go. All right. What do you think, there, buddy? He appears not to even be in the seat. He's just sort of. I don't know what his. We may need an ambulance here, folks. Appears that he is. He's not able to extricate himself from the vehicle. But in any case, we are certain he'll be okay in the end. Eventually, he looks positive, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well that's all for right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill feels awful bad about his recent failures to match up to the standards that we all hope for him. And so to do penance, he is going to launch himself into the air with 6 JATO units, strapped onto 6 JATO units, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In an acceleration fest that was certain to make him black out and most likely will kill him. But he wants to do this as part of his penance for having failed us. Having failed us. SAS on, not that it matters because this thing doesn't have a SAS on it. In 3, 2, 1. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Let's go. Yep, I think we can call that bad. What the fuck? What? Game just crashed. Game just crashed.